who says, how is Sprinter Sacre coming along with the Tingle Creek around the corner? How is Sprinter Sacre? Can we hope to have him back as good as ever and do what we know he can do?
Yeah, well, hopefully so. He looks well. I haven't sat on him yet, but that's no great surprise. I remember getting up on him in the Victor Chandler, and I hadn't sat on him since the Tingle Creek, and I got a bit of a flutter when I sat back up, and I was going, oh, I'd missed this, but I look forward to getting back on him. He looks a picture, so wait and see. The closer we get, I suppose, the closer we'll get to know him, is he back to where he was.
And you gave a sort of physical sort of little flutter there. Does it literally feel like that when you get on a horse that good? Because even a layperson can see that this horse is something else.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose it was that day that really brought it home to me, because I was just sat there in the parade ring and just to strut. He is the bomb.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. A very, very good one. Feels so different. Tony, on the same topic, well, a related topic, has this to say: if Sprinter Sacre doesn't fire, God forbid, again, like we all hope he does, would you like Simonsig to be aimed at the Queen Mother? Well, where do we stand on those two and trips?
Well, Simonsig,
and what they should be doing, hurdling or chasing, in the case of Simonsig.
Oh, well, he's a proven chaser. Yeah. I jumped 9 fences on him last week, and he was on springs, so there's definitely chasing is his game. But his early season target is the King George. And I suppose if things didn't work out in the King George, he'd have to reassess it then. But if he...
It'd be quite a reassessment there to go from the King George to the Queen Mother, wouldn't it?
Yeah, one man.
Yeah. Done before.
So he's a point-to-point winner as a 4-year-old when he was, skinny as a hat rack. So he won the Neptune as a 5-year-old over 2.5. So he is a horse who does stay. But then a Gold Cup is another step from that. So you're the King George will decide where he goes.
But he's got a lot of natural speed, though, Barry, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Like, if somebody said to you, he's going to run in the Queen Mother, you wouldn't...
Oh, no, jeez, no. You wouldn't. You wouldn't be riding him as a stayer, anyway. No, like he is. There's him and Sprinter in a piece of work is, that's probably the best piece in the yard, and it doesn't happen because, they kill each other. But you could run Simonsig in I'd say you can only run him in a list or a group race. He has got gears, but does stay.
Well, that throws the cat amongst the pigeons in a way. This is from a betting man who says, on the subject of Simonsig, have you sat on him recently? You mentioned you haven't sat on Sprinter Sacre recently, and how does he feel? You mentioned splints were the problem, was that right?
He had a splint, and then he had a splint on top of that splint. Okay. Splint is a bony enlargement. But it was causing a weakness through his shin bone, which just made it a bit risky. If that had pressed on, potentially he could have done serious damage, and that was, it was too big a risk.
So that's been dealt with?
A bone issue, so, like anyone breaking their wrist, you'd like to think that a few months later they should be okay, so touch wood, there should be no recurrence.
And in answer to the betting man, have you sat on...
I jumped 9 fences on him there, but like that, I needed to have a sit in him because... he was a novice. He's only had 3 runs over fences. We've a bit more to work on. So he jumped 9 fences and he was very good.
Okay. Thumbs up then. Thumbs up for both of them, Sprinter and Simonsig.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So far, so good.
I tell you what, if they both... I mean, we were chatting about this earlier on. It was one of the headlines in the paper about the trainers, the title, the champion jumps trainer for the season, how open it looks. Paul Nicholls' horse is beginning to catch on fire. Philip Hobbs has started fantastically well. John Joe's got good horses as well. Nicky Henderson still has those superstar horses, but they do need to come to the party, don't they?
Oh, they do, yeah, and every party. If it's going to have an impact on the championship, you need those big guns to fire. So I'd say it would be a wide open year for the championship.
Is it on people's minds back at the yard? Is it something that people think about?
Well, I know it's not Nicky's, like the year when he was in the lead and Paul won the national with Neptune Calange, it wasn't the end of the world. He'd had a good season. And like that, he wouldn't be running horses, jamming up the 2-mile chase, say, at Sandown at the end of the year to try and get prize money to win it. He wouldn't be doing the right thing by the horse. So, he would like to win it, but it wouldn't be, a big influence on his agenda with horses at the minute.
It's good fun for us media folk. We
Something
enjoy
to write about.
Absolutely, absolutely. let's have a look at another big gun from the Nicky Henderson yard, who, if he has a good year, could be a big player again. Bobsworth, where are we with him?
Yeah, well, he's working away. It's just difficult for it to get a run for him. Haydock isn't ideal. More than likely will be soft. So the other option is possibly the 3-mile hurdle at Newbury, which, you know, it's not a natural option for him, but you know, you need to get a prep in. You saw how much he improved from Haydock last year to Leopardstown, and that was his, you know, he shone that day. I don't think he shone in the Gold Cup, so if he can reproduce that Leopardstown form, you know, I think he still sets the standard.
Barry, Sean, just looking at these pictures of Barry, it meant plenty to you to win this race.
Oh yeah, for sure. My wife Paula was with me and our two girls, Shifra and Orla. You know, to have them in the winners' enclosure. Leopardstown is a brilliant track. There's a great atmosphere. The Christmas meeting in Leopardstown,
yeah.
like, as a kid going to Leopardstown at Christmas was, you know, that was our Cheltenham, if you like, or on a par. And you know, to have the whole family there was brilliant. And likewise, we had a similar day which shut the front door in the Irish Grand National, which is my local track, and you know, we were all there for that. It was brilliant.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? That there's local successes and family successes,
especially because you know, my own family don't get to enjoy it. Because when I'm in England, and I probably don't get the chance to appreciate it either because I'm on the first flight home.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just to be able to relax and soak in the atmosphere is good.
Yeah, yeah, and not have to go and jump on a plane. Yeah. That's a good point. Talking of the Gold Cup, of course, where Bobsworth finished fourth, he was a short price favourite. You're always going to be disappointed when you get beaten in the Gold Cup, but what did you make of that race once the dust is... Because a lot of us are, at the time, and even since, are kind of scratching our heads about that Gold Cup.
Kind of. I mean, that's probably, you know, an understatement, because you were watching it, and when you watch it again, you're still no better off, are you? No.
What happened, Barry?
Well, what happened? Bobsworth didn't travel. I was never going. I thought, like, I fancied him the previous year, but thought the ground was maybe gone for him. So I thought our chance was gone, and he wins it. I obviously fancied him going into this year's Gold Cup, and the ground was coming right. I was fairly sweet, but from word go, I was in the back foot. He never travelled the way he should, and for that reason he didn't jump as well. And I was on the back foot. He ran his race. He'd given it all to the last to get into a challenging position, and he'd no more to offer. You know, that was his reason for not going up the hill that time, was because he'd ran his race. He'd given 100%.
From what you were saying, though, for most of the race you were not...
No. Even the previous year on soft ground, he wasn't travelling, but I always felt, you know, I had a little bit to save. Whenever I gave him a little chance, there was always a little bit there. But in the Gold Cup, we didn't even go quick in the Gold Cup this year. And he was on the back foot, so he didn't turn up. But he did well to run as well as he did. And if he can back to that Leopardstown form, you know, I'd be still very sweet on him.
Okay. I suppose I mean, that's racing in a way, isn't it, Mick? As Barry says, really fancied him last year, didn't happen. Bit concerned the year before, bolts up and beats a really good field. That's racing. These things happen. It would be stupid to write the horse off, wouldn't it, on the back of that?
It would be stupid to write him off, because you know, Barry will tell you as well. It's the one thing that Nicky Henderson does brilliantly. He can get horses primed for a target. There's nobody better at it, I think, and you know, that's what he'll be trying to do this year with this fella.
His Cheltenham record speaks for itself, Nicky. You know, he's a good man to get them ready for the big day, and you know, that's the day that matters most.
Absolutely.
So hopefully he